So the main conclusions of our session, we were thinking about ethics within digital and transformation. We're here obviously at TIS 2022 and we're thinking all about innovation, and innovation usually means we're making something better. The challenge with that is sometimes we think as business people that making something better means we're making it bigger and that growth is the mantra. But obviously we were thinking in our session about other values and other ways of measuring what is going on within innovation, particularly around people, planet and profit. And obviously we're talking about tourism and travel, and in this case planet and people are the actual product. So how do we make sure that as we grow, as we transform, as we innovate, that we also take into consideration the ethical considerations for people and planet, both from a sustainability point of view, but also from an equality point of view. So I think the conclusions of our session really focused around collaboration. How do we make sure that we involve people? How do we make sure that we involve considerations around ecology, around animals, around plants, around the environment, around clean air, around plastics in the ocean, all of those things. But also how do we take into consideration the people that we're traveling to and the local communities? How do we involve them in our growth plans, in our innovations, and how does it affect them? So we talked about collaboration was one of the key things that we discussed. And then I think the other side of it, we were thinking about how do we make things more simple? So the challenge when we try and consider these things is, as humans, we make it really complicated. Something like 300 different accreditations if you're a hotel that you can sign up to. But consumers don't really understand 300 different accreditations. We in the industry don't understand 300 accreditations. So how do we make things more simple? So we talked a little bit about bringing simplicity to our discussions as an industry. How do we make things clearer for ourselves, for our customers, for our stakeholders, for the communities that we travel to, and making sure that we can really measure those conclusions. So I think they were the main conclusions from the session on ethics within innovation and digitization. So there are huge challenges facing the tourism industry and the travel industry in the world today. We've been through very tough times. I don't need to mention COVID. I don't need to mention some of the collapse that's happening economically around the world. I don't need to mention the war in Ukraine that is happening, that is affecting supply chains, is affecting how we do things. And there are other trends happening, I think, in the world. There's population growth, there's climate and biodiversity collapse, there's a rising population, there's the rising middle class. And all of these things lead to us having to innovate as an industry. But when we innovate, we have to consider the impacts of what we're doing. So some of the mantra within the industry is growth, and bouncing back. But I think it's really important that as an industry, when we bounce back better, that we consider people and planet, not just profit, which I think is often the case. If you're a destination, if you're in government, then we're thinking about how do we get more people staying longer, spending more. When actually some of the consideration I think is more around quality over quantity, so that we can reduce numbers of travellers perhaps where needs be, and make sure that we're able to still have the financial benefits that travel and tourism brings, but not at the cost of people and planet.